guys, welcome back to the channel. So when I did my first video, it was after reading the rulebook one time and kind of playing through it, kind of get the basics down, and I was having so much fun. I kind of wanted to capture that, and I think you saw it in the video if you watched it. I was laughing, I was having a blast. I was literally learning it by myself. But having shot that and kind of went through it and realized I messed up a lot of the rules, which I tried to capture. El Kobold, as he goes by on Facebook, responded, and the guy who actually wrote the rulebook, so that was really cool, and said, hey, you messed a few things up, but not bad for getting your your first attempt. And it really wasn't. It's just trying to learn the nuances of how the game works. But having played it a few more times, looked at the forums on Board Game Geek, in which again, the guys who wrote the rulebook, Artie N, he's been actively responding, answering questions, and one of the things he keeps saying is all of the answers are really in the rulebook. And he's right, they're all there. Part of the problem that I've run into that I kind of think people is the interpretation of the rules, and it's not really an improper interpretation. It's just making sure you understand what the intent was. So most of the games that I've played is if you want to do something, you roll and then you do it. This is different. This is you make the action and then you roll to kind of see what the result is. And that I had backwards when I did the first one, and I missed a few other things, like I read that X's are a failure. So like when I was doing face-offs, hey, if you don't roll any X's, whoever rolls more X's loses the face-off. That's not right. It's whoever rolls the most pucks or arrows, which are the reactions. And I'll kind of go through that. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to redo the video, walk you through how the game is played, take you through some of those nuances, some of the questions that I've seen on Board Game Geek, kind of go through it and show you, how the game is played, because it's a super fun game. It's a total blast, and I still have a blast even playing alone, playing by myself. Here it is. If you have more questions, if I don't answer anything, put them in the comments below. We'll get them answered for you. If I don't have the answer, El Kobold or Artie N, will hopefully watch this video and respond in kind. So thanks for watching, and let's get started. Okay, so the basic setup is this. You have your centers, your two wingers, and your two defensemen, along with your goaltenders. And this is your setup to start the game and after each goal is scored. Referee is here. We're starting the period. And I use the cardboard counter. There's 3 seats here, so we'll just use that as our period marker. Sin bins for penalties. And this is your stamina line, your bench. Now the bench is basically your rerolls. So I'll talk more about that when we get to that point. The game comes with 6 dice. I have regularly discovered that you need more. If you only have 6 dice, don't fret. You just roll, remember what you rolled, and do it again. But what I'm really going to try to show you here is the basics. There's been a lot of questions. I had a lot of questions after my first go with the game. And okay, so to start each period, each team is going to roll 3 dice. And we'll do the red team over here and the blue team. So the team that rolls the most pucks and arrows, which are reactions, wins the face-off. So in this case, we had basically all blanks here, and we had this here, for example. So that means that the blue team wins the face-off. That's how a face-off is done. Now you start by activating your different players. Now the key thing here is you cannot activate a player twice in a row, and that is vital to the strategy of the game. Okay, so once you've gotten done the face-off, now you start activating your players and you start building a dice pool. With your first activation, you get 1 die. When you do a second activation, you're going to add a die to it. There are some things that you'll do, like if you do a clear ice pass, in which you could, like the center, could then pass the puck to another location within the neutral zone. Puck carrier has to be in the neutral zone, can pass it anywhere in the neutral zone that they have line of sight, and I'll talk about that in a second, or anywhere touching the blue line. And that would add 2 dice to your dice pool. And so as you build this dice pool up, it's going to be more and more difficult to not roll X's. And X's generally mean a failure or possible penalty, depending on what action you are doing. So let's go ahead and play the turnout, and I'll demonstrate. So the blue team has 1, and its action they can choose is either a move, a pass, a shoot, a poke, or a hit. Now, he's the puck carrier, so he's not going to hit anything. So let's go ahead and activate this winger over here. And he's going to move here. Now, their size and their speed tell you 2 things about each of the positions. A winger is very small, but he's very fast. So speed is the number of spaces they can move. All movement must be, and line of sight for passing the puck and shooting the puck, must be orthogonal or diagonal. This is not a valid pass. He has to be here, or if he was here, that would be a valid pass. So orthogonal, diagonal, 8 directions, but no in between. So I'm going to move him here. Now, this is where there's been a lot of confusion in the rule book of, do I roll first and it doesn't happen? This is the way I initially interpreted it, but no, what it means is you move your player and then you roll to see what happens. And you're really rolling to see if you get to keep going. So I'm going to roll my 1 die, and it comes up a puck. So basically it's not an X, and the only way you roll a failure on a move is if you roll an X. So that move is successful. This is a press your luck game, so you continue to add dice, kind of continue to press your luck. I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, my second activation would be 2 dice, but I'm going to go ahead and do a clear ice pass, in which I'm going to pass the puck from the center to this space right here. Now, since it's a clear ice pass, it's a little risky. That adds more dice. So 2 for second activation, 2 for a clear ice pass. So we're going to roll those and see what we get. All right. So here we have failures and a puck. Now, this is where your stamina comes in, and your stamina is basically rerolls. I'm going to spend a reroll, and you have 3 to reroll the dice. Now, you roll all of the face-up dice. You don't get to choose. You have to roll all, but blanks stay. So I'm going to reroll the face-ups, and now I have no failures and 2 pucks. I could re-roll that if I wanted to, but I'm okay with it. Now, on a clear ice pass, or actually any pass, pucks mean the puck bounces. And so on a clear ice pass, even if there was an X for failure, it's going to bounce a number of squares equal to the number of pucks drawn. If this was a straight pass to him, he would go ahead and accept the pass because there was no failure. But if there was an X involved, then he would have missed the pass and the puck would have bounced back 2 squares. So we're going to go here, 1, 2, and that's where the puck winds up. So my dice pool is now 4. I'm going to go ahead and take another action. Dice pool is now 5, and this action is going to be to move my winger 1, 2, 3 spaces. I'm going to move him to here. 5 dice. Okay, I have a failure and a reaction. So I'm going to spend another reroll, and I'm going to reroll the non-blanks. Okay, this is a reaction. So he successfully moved, but whenever one of these rolls up, or it could be multiple, no matter how many of them roll up, could be 2, 3, 4, the opponent gets 1 space move with one of their players, and it has to be orthogonal, cannot be diagonal. And it doesn't matter how many of these you roll, you only get 1. So I'm going to move my defenseman back 1. I am now at my 6th action with 1 reroll left. I am going to go ahead and do a line change. What that means is, since I can activate, when you can activate a player, you can either activate the player or you can do a line change. I'm going to go ahead and do a line change, which means I end my turn. I get my rerolls back. The referee moves down, and now it's the red team's turn. So the red team's going to do the same thing. The puck is back here in their zone. They're going to start with a dice pool of 1, and I'm going to move my defenseman. Now, defenseman has a speed of 2. Now, remember I mentioned their size. Their size comes into play when it comes to hitting and fighting. Fights are actually kind of fun. When it goes to hitting, you can only hit equal or smaller. So a defenseman can hit other defensemen, wingers, and centers, whereas a winger can only hit another winger. It has to be their same size or smaller. Nobody can hit the goalie, and the goalie has a speed of 1, and they can never move diagonal. A goalie can only go orthogonal. And yes, the goalies can leave the crease. That's how you block this shot from right here, and I'll explain that hopefully shortly. So I'm going to start by moving my goalie, or my defensive man, back 2. Roll the die. I have a reaction. I'm going to react with this guy. Now remember, reactions cannot be diagonal. This would be a great place to move him, but I can't. I'll move him here. Second activation, I can't activate him again. I just activated him. Can't activate twice in a row. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this guy 1, 2, 3 here. And strategy here, looking to hopefully get the pass and send it up to him. So 2 dice for my second activation. A failure, which is going to force me to do a reroll. It doesn't force you, but I want to keep going, so I'm going to reroll. And a reaction. So he moved, but knowing that, hey, that's probably what's going to happen, I'm going to move my defenseman right there. Okay, third activation is going to be to go ahead and move my defenseman here, and he's going to move through and pick up the puck. Now, moving onto the puck does not stop his activation. When you skate through a square with the puck, you just take the puck and keep going. So he's going to move to there, and I'm going to roll. I have success. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this guy here. Fourth activation for 4 dice. If I get no reactions, we'll be good. Whoa! I'm going to re-roll that. Now I have to re-roll everything because there's no blanks. So 4, we're going to do it again. Wow. Going to use my last re-roll and hope for no X's this time. Okay. Well, the X tells me it's a failure. I'm out of re-rolls. So this is going to end my turn. He still moved. It's just I can't keep going. Now I do have a reaction. So my reaction is going to be to move my defenseman here just to be safe. I move the ref down. 16 minutes left in the period, and I'm going to go ahead and blue team. Now, they didn't get to do a line change, so they didn't get to reset their stamina. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and activate this winger here, and he's going to move 1 to here. Now, that's going to take me a little bit to get him over here. 3 activations before he can try to get the puck. So 1 activation here, he rolls, success. Now I have to move somebody else. So I'm going to go ahead and move this guy 1, 2, 3. Get my center out and down here. Second activation. My dice rolls are terrible today. Got to re-roll both. We have a reaction, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. This guy can react. So he's going to react by moving. Anybody can react, but he's going to do the reaction, but he has to go orthogonally. But he'll move here, which is going to kind of get him out of the way, knowing that this guy is coming in to try to steal the puck. So my next action, third activation, is going to be to move this guy 1, 2 here. 3 dice. And I didn't see that until after I moved my defense, but hey, we'll go with it. Okay. So we have a reaction. Now, let's talk about being checked. He can't react. Anytime the puck carrier has another player orthogonally to him, an enemy player, he is checked and the only thing he can do is pass or shoot. He is not in a position where he can take that reaction anymore. If he was here, he could react. He can move back, he can move any of those 4 spaces. But since there is an opponent orthogonally to him, he cannot move. That's what being checked is. So he's stuck. So we're not going to move him, but I am going to move somebody else. And we're going to go ahead and move this guy here as that reaction. Okay, you're asking, he's right in front. If he pokes it away, the goalie is out of position. Well, since you can shoot straight or diagonal, the goalie's not going to be in position for one of these to block the shot. So if he's here, he has a clean shot here because it's diagonal. When you measure your shots, you're looking at the net, ignore the post, which is why if I have somebody here, I'm going to use my extra guy here. If he's here, this is a open shot, even if the goaltender's right there. The goaltender would have to move here to block that shot.
Here tonight. Here's Holland now, wide side shot. Where is it? I think that's in. There was no signal.
Okay. So if he manages to get the puck, he takes the shot right here, it's open, or he can shoot right there, it's open. So instead, I'm going to hope that, hey, this guy doesn't get it. I moved him to where he can take the pass, and if it ends his turn, say he fails his rerolls, he's got a clear shot to pass this up to this guy, and he's got a clean run at the goal. So we're gonna go with it. So this is our third activation. Was it our third activation? We moved, yes. So back to it. When you're talking, you're gonna lose track. All right, so fourth activation now, right? So we moved him, we moved him there. Fourth activation. I have to activate somebody else. I can't activate him again. So I'm gonna go ahead and move him here, just to block that pass. Since I'm playing against myself, I kind of know what I'm gonna do. 4 dice, and a failure. So we're gonna use another reroll. And we have success with a reaction. So the reaction will be, let's move. We're gonna go ahead and move this guy up 1, 2, 3 to here. Move that center up. Oh, sorry, he can only move 1 on a reaction, so he's gonna move to there. Fifth action is gonna be to do a poke. He is gonna attempt to poke the puck away from him. So we're going to roll our dice. This is a success. He takes the puck. And now he is checked because he is orthogonal to him. So he can't move now because there, but he still can pass and he can shoot. Had this come up, that would have been a failure. He would have had to have re-rolled. Say that he had no re-rolls and this was his final action. That's a failure. He maintains the puck. If I had rolled 2 X's, that's a penalty, and he's off to the penalty box. If it had been 3 X's, that's a fight. And we'll go into fights hopefully in a little bit later. So X's are really bad if that's what you end up with. So if you have rerolls and that's what you rolled, spend it, or you get a fight, or you can get penalties. So on a poke check, 1 X is a failure, 2 is a penalty, 3 is a fight. But we were successful. He stole the puck. He has it right in front of the goal. We are on our 6th activation. Have to activate somebody else. So, using our hockey sense, we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 here. So now he can either shoot here. He's open for the shot there. You know, thinking hockey. 6 dice, and we have 2 failures and a reaction. We are going to spend our last reroll. And we have success. He moves, but we also have a reaction. And the reaction is going to be to move. We'll go ahead and move the goaltender, because if we miss the shot, then we'll show how the puck bounces off. So now we get to our 7th activation. This is where the extra dice would really come in handy. 7 dice, he's gonna take the shot. Now, the shot is here to this square right here. Now, still have to roll to see what happens. Okay, this is a failed shot. That was a lot of dice too, so I didn't really expect to make it. But that's a failure. 1x is 1x on a failed shot is it rings off the post. 2 X's means the goalie caught it. Now, you don't move the goalie, the puck goes to the goaltender, but you make it up for, super dive, the goaltender, make up your story. Goaltender makes a huge dive to make the save, doesn't matter where he's at. He is the puck carrier. Now, do we reset? No. He's holding the puck. He can still play the puck. The turn is over. We move the ref down. Okay, so now it's Red's turn. Now, if this turn ends with the goaltender still holding the puck is frozen, and we reset and start over with a face-off. So let's see if we can't move this puck out of the zone. So we're going to start with our first action. We're going to move the goaltender here in the center. Roll, and we have a reaction. Well, it's not really what I was hoping for, but we'll go ahead and move him over. Second action, let's see if we can get somebody here where they can take the pass. Remember, we've got no reroll, so we roll a single X, turns over, and we have a face-off. There's the X. The turn is now over. Now we start over with the reset. And a reset is just like when we started. So we're going to move the ref down. We're going to reset all of our players back to their starting positions. Like so. Goaltenders, no matter where they at, if he was here, he goes back to the middle. Put the puck in the middle. Now we're going to start with a face-off. Now, the other thing that happens is your stamina resets. So we're going to reset everybody's re-rolls, and we're going to continue. And so you're going to go back and forth like this for, you know, a number of turns. If you're playing a friendly game, it's basically play, you know, through 10 turns and, you know, call it done. So basically you're going to play one period. A normal game is 3 periods. Once you get through this one, you will move to the second period, move to the third period. And if it's a draw at the end of the third period, instead of ending it, you play 4 additional turns, you know, 2 turns aside. If nobody scores, the game ends in a draw. But let's go ahead and keep going and see what else happens. 3 dice each. He has one. Remember, it's pucks and arrows. So we do it again. We have 3-1. So red takes the face off this time. Okay, let's see what red can do. So we're going to start by our first action. We're going to go ahead and move our winger down here. And there is a reaction. So of course he's going to react by taking away the passing lane. He can't move. Remember, he is caught in a face-off. So we're going to go ahead and move this guy to there. Second activation. 2 dice with a reaction. He's going to take away that passing lane. Third activation is going to be to move this guy 1, 2, 3. And we're good. Fourth activation, we're going to do a clear ice pass to here, which means I have to add 2 dice to my dice pool, 6 dice. And wow. If I let this go, the puck will bounce to the goaltender, and he will be the puck carrier, and it'll be the end of my turn. So we're going to go ahead and re-roll all of this. And we're going to go ahead and re-roll all of that. And we have success, but the puck will bounce 3 times. 1, 2, 3, right in front of the goal crease. Okay. So let's go ahead and do a 7th activation. And we're going to move him 1, 2, 3. Remember, winger speed is 3. 7 dice with 1 reroll. I guess we'll go ahead and reroll these 5 dice with our last reroll. And all right, so this will end the turn. There is 1 reaction, and that reaction will be to... He's going to be in the same boat. If he gets there, he can only move here or here. So we'll go ahead and move the defenseman here. Okay, with the end of the turn, we're going to go there. Okay, so now it is blue's turn. Now, so far in the game, we have covered moving and clear ice passes. We haven't really covered a regular pass yet. We haven't covered hitting. We did cover checking, and we did cover pokes. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to kind of forego trying to beat myself here and just go ahead and kind of show you the other mechanics of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and do my first activation. It's going to be with him. 1, 2. Now, well, I want to hit him. Okay, in order to do a hit, you have to be able to move into the square if the opponent was not there. So in order for me to do a hit on him, he would have to be here. If he wasn't here, can he move 2, 1, 2, and be there? Yes, he can. So therefore, he can hit. But from here, he can't move 3 spaces. He can only move 2. So he's going to start by moving right there. Roll, success. If you haven't noticed, this is the neoprene mat, just to show it off. Second activation, can't be him again, so I'm going to go ahead and move this guy back 2. Second activation, we do have a reaction. Now, he can react. A reaction is only a movement, but it's orthogonal. He's going to move here on top of the puck. He now controls the puck. Third activation. he's going to hit the winger. So to do a hit, it's 1, 2, and you would push him directly away from you to the square there. Now, since nobody can enter the crease except for the goaltender, the crease kind of acts like the boards. You now get to pick wherever you're going to put this guy in any of the squares that are touching where he would be going. So it's just like there's a wall here. So I'm going to push you. I would push him here. So now it's going to be, well, I could push him here or here. I could swap spaces with him here, here, or here. Another legal space. I'm going to swap spaces with him. I'm going to hit him, and basically I hit him so hard that he flies over me. Okay, so you've seen that if you've watched enough hockey where they hit him low and flip the players over. Well, that's what just happened. Now, does he take the puck? Well, that depends on what we roll. So we are at a 4th activation. We are at our 3rd activation. So we moved him, now we hit. X is a failure on a hit. In this, on a hit is a penalty. Okay, a failed hit with an X. Can you re-roll it? No, you cannot re-roll penalties. If this was a poke and I rolled 1X, that's not a penalty, I could have re-rolled it. That is a penalty on a hit, cannot re-roll. So immediately, this guy goes to the penalty box. Now, he goes 2 spaces down from the current time marker. So you kind of think of it as timer's on 10, it's a 4-minute minor, right? Or a double minor. Yeah, I mean, it's a board game, it works. Basically, you're out until your next turn when he can come back in. Or if red scores, he'll come back in immediately. And that ends my turn. So, turn marker goes down. Now it's red's turn. Red has no rerolls. Red could say, you know what, instead of activating a player, I'm going to do a line change. But that would be foolish because I have a clear shot with 1 die. So let's talk about taking a shot. In order to take the shot, you have to have a clear path with no blocking models. If the goaltender was here, he could not shoot there. Well, he could shoot to the other squares, right? No, it has to be diagonal. Okay, if you trace the diagonal, you miss the net. If you trace the straightaway, you're being blocked. So he could not shoot from there if the goaltender is here. The goaltender is here. Straight shot into the net. So with that, with 1 die, anything but an X, and we have a reaction. But the goal is shot and the goal is scored. The reaction, the thought would be, oh, there's a reaction, the goal's going to jump. No, the reaction is after what just happened. You're reacting to what just happened. You just scored a goal and now you're going to react because you weren't paying attention, you didn't see it, whatever, doesn't matter. The goal is scored. The red team goes up 1, and we reset. We do not move the ref down when a goal is scored. The reason we do that, because if the red team wins the face-off, they will take their turn and then they will move it down to keep it in the correct order. If the blue team wins the face-off, we're going to move it down immediately and the blue team's going to take its turn. And that just keeps it straight. Otherwise, you could have a situation where the red team went and then the red team goes again, and if they score, the red team can go again and you'll use up the period. It doesn't work that way, and the odds of that actually happening are astronomical, really. It's not going to happen. But since red scored, penalty's over, he comes out of the box, we do a reset, everybody gets their stamina back, and we do our face-off. Our face-off again. 2 to 2. We roll it again. And this just kind of mimics the fighting and jostling over the puck.
Match him save for save tonight. And looking for a...
Blue takes the puck. So since they didn't have the last turn, we're going to move that down. Now blue's going to start. So we've pretty much covered the basics. We've talked about moving. We've talked about penalties. We've talked about pokes. We did a shot. And like I said, in the first video I did, I had read the rules 1 time. I was playing through it, had a blast, was loving the game. I really do enjoy this game. It's a lot of fun once you get the nuances to it. And I just had a lot of questions, but I wanted to put the video out because I was having so much fun with it. And it's a great game. It really is. I'm still upset it's not going to go to retail, because I've had people who watched the video and ping me is like, what do you mean it's not going to retail? And it was a Kickstarter only, and they'll be available, and they're not going to be available for long, because if everybody who's been watching the video buys them, they're not going to last very long. So I'd like to, probably get another copy or myself, to give to a friend or whatever. It's a great game. Anyway, back to what we were doing. So let's talk about what we've done. We have covered moves. We haven't actually done a pass to another player. Let's do that. So let's spread some guys around, and he's got the puck, and he's got a check on him. He's here, and he's over here, and we'll do it like that. Okay, I don't know how we got here, but we're here. If he's going to do a pass, and we're going to say this is our third activation. To do a pass, he just passes it, and now you roll to see what happens. If this is the roll, he takes the pass. It wasn't the best pass, but he catches the pass. If this is the result, and I say I don't have any re-rolls, and that's how it ends. This ends my turn, but the puck will bounce. So it would bounce back too if it was this direction. If it was, say he was passing it to this guy, and we rolled this, he would miss the pass, and it would go two past him. Now, that's your setup. He would miss the pass, and it would bounce two past him. Doesn't matter that he's here. What if he's here? He missed the pass, bounces past him too. This guy is now the puck carrier. Turn still ends. You failed. Turn is still over, but he is now the puck carrier. Just like if he was here, he would be the puck carrier, and now it's Red's turn, and he doesn't have to skid on top of the puck. But as it is, say this was our setup, it would go to there. Now when Red activates, he could go 1-2. He's the puck carrier. If he was here, he could go 1-2. He's still the puck carrier. All you have to do is skate over the puck to take it. So that's a pass. Doesn't matter how many X's you roll on a pass, it's a failure, and there's no penalties on a pass. Penalties are on pokes. If you roll 3 X's, penalty is 2 X's on a poke, and on a hit is 1 X. Now, what have we not covered? We did pokes, shooting, hitting, moving, passing. We haven't talked about the offside rule. Now this is kind of interesting, but actually it's a really good mechanic. He's here. Let's go back to what I was trying to do earlier. He's got the puck. This guy's here. We'll say this guy's here. Actually, it was this guy. He's here. We got a guy right here. Okay, this is our setup. He has the puck. He's gonna pass it to this guy. Now, here's the order that this works. Say it's 4 dice. It's our 4th activation. I have a 4 dice pool. He's gonna pass to this guy. Well, you just pass it to him. But before you roll, you now have an offside situation. Well, what's an offside situation? Well, if you know hockey, the puck has to be the first thing into the opponent's zone. So if you're attacking, Blue's attacking Red, the puck has to be in here first. If the puck is here, anybody can come over the line. If the puck is not in here, you cannot go into this zone. With this pass, we are now outside of the zone. So immediately, your offensive players move straight back. Your defensive players move to this side of the blue line. So offensive players they're attacking players, move just outside the blue. Defensive players move up to the line. Doesn't matter where or how they were. Let's do this. We got this guy here. We got this guy here. I got this guy here, and we got this guy here. He makes this pass from here before the dice are rolled to see what happens. He has to come straight out. This actually, he leapfrogs. He comes straight out. He leapfrogs. He comes straight out. He comes to here. He would stop there. He comes to right here. Okay, it's a little wonky. Keep in mind, it's a board game. It's not real hockey, but the mechanic works, because otherwise you would have to spend half of your next entire turn trying to get your guys out, and that's boring. There's no action in that. The whole fun of this game is it's nonstop action. It really is. And no, you're not going to move all of your players all the time, but in most games you don't anyway. If any of you have played Dreadball, which has always been one of my favorites, you tend to move 3 players. You put 1 guy blocking a goal or 3 guys blocking goals, and you're playing with 3 players through most of the game. Well, it's the same mechanic. It's just it gets the action. Is that real? No, because in real life, all your players will be moving around. But it's a board game, and the mechanic works, and it works really well. Hats off to the guys who designed this. So, anyway, back to the game. We do the offside play. Now we complete the pass, and the pass is we roll. Now, if I had re-rolls, great. I would re-roll that. If I don't have any re-rolls, that's a failed pass, and it would bounce to past him, just like that. So that covers offside. Let's talk about fights real quick, because fights are fun. Actually, the mechanic on fights is actually pretty good. Let's do, where's the center? Here, 1 bigger. So for whatever happened, say the blue guy is going to hit. Say he's here, he's going to hit our red center. And it's the 6th activation. He goes 1, 2, the hit. So you push the goaltender, or you push the player out. He takes the spot. Now, again, if the hit was like this, or like this, where you're hitting and you can't push him back, you get to choose which square he goes to. And that could be here, 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 or you could swap. You could do that. But the hit happens. Now you roll to see what the result is. And we roll that. 2 X's. 2 X's on a hit is a fight. Now, to do a fight, you're going to take the number of dice equal to the size of your player plus 1. So the defenseman for the blue gets 4 dice. The center gets, the center size is 2, 3 dice. And you're going to roll off. And this is where, to start with, if you have 2 defensemen or defenseman and center, you don't have enough dice in the box, which is a minor complaint. Yes, if you did a Kickstarter, you did have a chance to buy more. Had I known, I would have bought 2 extra sets of dice, because I pulled these dice out of my other game, and somebody on one of the boards said they rarely need more than 6 dice. We need more than 6 dice on almost every play, because we press our luck a lot. But anyway, it is what it is. So he rolls, and blue rolls. Now, for every X that is rolled, you lose that die. Okay, and you keep rolling, and the first player to run out loses. He loses the X, he loses the X. Now, if you roll an arrow, you force the opponent to lose a die. And with that, the blue defenseman wins the fight. Now, what does that mean? Let's say this is what, we're at the fight and this is what happened. Both of them get a penalty. They both go out till there. The turn is over. The ref gets moved down. But only the team that won the fight gets to reset their stamina for the face-off. So normally after, when you do a reset, everybody resets stamina. Not if it was a fight. If it was a fight, only the team that won. Hence, kind of like real life. If you lose the fight, you're like, oh man, we got our butts kicked. But if you win the fight, you're like, yeah, we kicked his butt, right? So when you do a reset, only the team that won gets to reset their stamina. So the team that lost the fight is kind of at a disadvantage. Now, how do you reset after this? So there you go, right? You sub in one of your wingers, either one, your choice. And it doesn't really say this in the rule book, but I kind of did it as a house rule. And it's really the only house rule that we use. Home team gets the last choice. So say this is the situation. The away team, which would be I have these backwards. We'll do it this way. The away team, which scored the first goal, has to choose which winger they're going to pick. So say they pick this one. Now, the blue team gets to pick, okay, where do they want to put their defenseman? And like I said, it's a house rule. It's not really talked about. You can do it however you want, but it just made sense to me that, oh, okay, well, I might want to put him on this side. Or I might want to put him on this side since his players are kind of shifted that way. This is kind of open. I may want to put him over here to give me an extra guy to kind of take this way. You know, you can do it however you want. But that's kind of how I do it. If the period ends, you go to the next one, you do a reset, you start over. Like I said, if you get to the end of the third period and the game is tied, and it's nobody scores in that last frame, you basically do 4 more frames. So 2 turns apiece. So do 4 more turns, and if nobody wins, it's a draw. That's the majority of it. There were some questions around what are the shot angles. So let's talk about the shot angles real quick. And we'll do it on this side. Okay. These are all valid shots. From here, 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 here. That's a valid shot. That's a valid shot. Valid shot. Valid shot. Valid shot. Okay. Now, that is still good. This is no longer good. So he can shoot from there. Of course, you can shoot from here, here. You don't have a line here. Here is still good. So from all the way back here is in. Here is in. So, and which basically means you can shift all these guys back. So you have a lot of shooting lanes to shoot from. Okay, and here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. So it's really only, this initial corridor right here. But once you get there, you have a shot. Now, he just took away a whole bunch of them, So, and again, the goaltender is not limited to the crease. It doesn't say that anywhere in the rule book, and it's been confirmed by the guy who wrote the rule book. You can leave the crease. It's just, do you normally see it? No. And if you've played similar games to me, it's kind of a weird mechanic, and that's why I missed it the first time. It's you're used to rolling to do your activation, and it's not. You activate, you do what you're going to do, and then you roll the dice. And the dice never stop you from doing your action. They just show you the result of the action, if that's the easiest way to put it. So from here, that's a block shot. If the goaltender's here, it's now an open shot. Okay. But yes, this is an open shot. So like I said, don't look at where the goalposts are. Look at where the net is. And even with this guy's here, think of this, he's blocking the bottom half, and you've got those holes at the top. That's where he's aiming. So, make it more dramatic, make it cinematic. Think about a hockey game in your head, and you can kind of see, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if I want to block this guy here who's got the puck, he wants to take a shot, I got to move here. And you can come out of the crease here. But remember, they only move one space, and they only move orthogonally. Okay? I think that about covers it. You can play 4 players. I think that's just an excuse to say, yeah, you can play up to 4 players. You really don't need to. If you do a pass, let's talk about this real quick. Say he did a pass to, let me throw the guy around. Pass to him. He's going to pass to him, and he misses the puck. Say we roll that, and we roll, this. Okay, he missed, and it's going to bounce 3 times. He misses, it will bounce 1. And remember, it's at an angle, so it's going to come out the other angle. So 1, 2, 3. And that's where it would stop. Let's do this. If it was, let's move him to here. Let's move some of these guys back to make this a little more realistic. This is highly realistic, but hey, we're going to go with it. Say this was the pass. He was going to pass from here, and you're rolling a ton of dice, and that's what you rolled. And the pass was to here. So we make the pass, we roll, magic, bam. It's a missed pass with 6 bounces. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and the goaltender's over here. 5, 6, goal, right? No. It's a missed pass. You never get to score off of those. Goaltender, it winds up with the puck. And again, if he's way over here for some reason, it actually goes to him. So most of the time, your goaltender is going to be right here in the crease. If he missed it, he would have picked it up. If he was here, you think it would roll in, but it's not. It comes to him. He is now the puck carrier. If it was, in fact, this guy was passing it back to this guy, and he missed it, and it went to him, this would force a face-off because you end the turn with your goaltender holding the puck, so the red team's turn ends with their goaltender holding the puck, that's a face-off. If it was the end of the blue team's turn, now red can play the puck out and keep going. That's it, guys. There's not it's having read through it and got a whole bunch of questions answered. Like I said, I'm not using the line cards for your first few games. Don't use the line cards or the arena cards. Learn the basics, understand it, play through it. It's a ton of fun as it is. But then when you want to add the line cards in, you have 4 line cards. And let me show these to you real quick. And this goes down to another piece of another cool factor on the detail to this game. Your line cards, red teams, blue teams. Okay, different backs. Same cards through each deck, but the different backs to help you tell them apart. And also, again, more detail, colors, match, the player. It's just I'm still geeking out over that it's just that cool. So anyway, if you have line cards, you play the game with 4, and you put all the others aside. These are your 4 lines. So when you start the game, you pick whichever one you want. So like, you may re-roll penalties. Whenever you do a line change to reset your stamina, you discard that one, and now you play another line card. So say I can pass through other players. So what does that mean? That means this guy's here, this guy's here. We can pass through this guy all day long. There we go. I want to pass to my defenseman. You can, because I can pass through players. So, if that's this is a red team, but, if it was a blue team playing that card, you get the point. When I do another line change, I discard that one, and I pick from my other 2. 4th line change, you play that one. Once they're all gone, you pick them all back up with that next line change, and you play the one you want. And ideally, I don't remember if it actually mentions this, but you don't replay the one you just played. So if this was the last card I played, when I do a line change, that gets discarded, and I pick from one of the other 3 that was in my discard pile, and I keep going. I can't imagine you're going to have more than 4 line changes in a period, but you might. If you don't roll really good or you roll really bad, you might be line changing every turn. In that case, you could have 5. But it works. The arena cards add something to, so while this adds to this particular line that's on the field or on the ice, and he'll have different ones. He'll have, checked opponents may not pass diagonally, which is kind of painful. And whatever his 4 lines are, every team is different, right? The arena card impacts the entire game. So if I'm playing in Sunrise Stadium, unchecked players in the offensive zone may shoot through the goalie. Okay, he's not checked. I'm going to shoot. I now have a clear shot. But same thing here. Goalie's not stopped if he's unchecked. If he's checked, nope, goaltender blocked. So you'd have to be here to get that shot off. So the arenas add some really cool stuff. Each time before a player performs a hit, his team restores 1 stamina. Well, that's kind of cool, especially if you play like I do, where you forget to line change or you're pushing your luck. It's a push your luck game, and I push my luck all the time. I have gone entire periods without getting a line change in because I keep pressing my luck. Silly, I know, but it is what it is. The other cool thing is they give you 2 blank ones, so you can come up with your own. I saw some really cool ones, for people who are trying to do rules for doing a one-timer. Hey, if I think somebody did it for, I was looking at it on Board Game Geek, where it was basically, I think it was Quebec, for like a Joe Sakic. And it was basically, if you're in the offensive zone and you complete a pass, you can make an immediate, shot with that, and it might be, add 2 dice to that, or whatever. So rather than having to do an offset, so you can kind of play with it, write up your own cards, which is really super cool. And, they've got all the cities here. You just kind of pick the ones you want. If you're looking at the cards, You're looking at, hey, what are the words underneath that? So when you pick your line cards, there's different ways you can do it. You can do the dream team thing where you go through here and you pick up, hey, I'm going to pick whatever cards I want. I'm going to pick my arena. Nothing has to match. If you do it as you pick the arena, and those are the line cards you get. So if you pick St. Louis as your arena, you would get collected, coordinated, defensive, and face-off master. And you would pull those out, and those are your 4 lines. The idea there is, hey, you each have a city, you each have an arena, you have your line cards. You play 2 games. Home team, you play, and then you play this guy as the home team. And you play in those arenas. And they do make a big difference, having those specific ones, because they kind of work with whatever the arena rule is. The other way to pick line cards is kind of neat. It's called the draft, where basically you shuffle them up. You pick 5. Each team picks 5, and then you go through your cards and you pick, hey, I want, move through other players. And then I pass the other 4 to my opponent, and he's going to go through the 4 left, and you get his 4 and you pick 1, and then you go back and forth until you've picked your 4 lines. And yes, you will have some red and blue, so make sure that you separate those before you mix them back into your separate deck. All right, guys, that's basically it. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Like, share this video. Tell me what you thought. Did it help? Did it make it worse? Hopefully I didn't screw the rules up this time like I did the first time. I think I got them down much better, but please, let me know if I missed something or if I made a mistake so I can get it corrected. But, thanks for watching, and like I said, I hope this helps, and enjoy the game, because it is a blast. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.